So let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds done in disruption mode on Lua to finally get a Lua Lens. Technically, it was the 5th reward, but kept going because, well, why not? Kind of needed to level some things up, and disruption's great for this. Disruption on my favourite planet? Kind of a no-brainer, I was going to go there anyway. Wow, okay, so I don't have any blueprints for the other lenses. Well, really just the one. I was hoping to have a blueprint for the Eidolon lens, but I know for a fact I got one not long ago either, and it's suddenly gone. I haven't built any recently, so I wonder where that went. Now, the way that it goes is the regular Xenuric lens that you need to build a greater one converts 1.25% of excess affinity once a weapon is maxed into focus. The greater one is 1.75, slightly better. The Eidolon one, which I never knew was actually added to the marketplace, converts 2.25%, and the Lua one, which requires the Eidolon lens, will do 3.23% of excess focus. Excess affinity will be turned into focus, so instead of it being 2.25, it goes up a whole another percent for the Lua lens, making them very useful if you are trying to farm for focus. If you're not, Eidolon or greater lenses to just let it build up, and over time will still work perfectly fine. But if you're trying to do it in a rush, or you do a lot of these missions, yeah, building these, kind of a no-brainer, as long as you know which one you need the most. Sadly, I need about 2 million over here, 2 million over there, I need a million there and a million there. So I'm not that far off needing to be where I want to be, but way off being anywhere near done with this. There's no great rush. Well, increasing the operator health and health regen could be really useful, so I think I'm going to build it for them. Because I do have some of these lenses. I was just going to use that one, but I don't know which. I run all 4 of these at once, usually, by the way. So this is why it doesn't really matter that much. But this one, because it's going to add a little bit more, and I don't tend to run it that often, because I have one on the frame, one on the primary, one on the secondary, and one on the melee. All 4 different ones. So this is why I'm saying I don't run it that often, because it's on the melee weapon, and if we quickly go to the default loadout, I don't even have a melee equipped because I'm busy doing other things. And since I have to format some more, because I'm just not happy with that, we're going to rush this thing. So I can equip it to the weapon it's going to spend the rest of its life on, because I'm using this more than anything else. And more importantly than anything else, it only has a greater lens on it, which could explain why it's not going up that much. It had 1.7, it's now going to be doing, you can actually see, normal lenses, greater lenses, Eidolon lenses, and Lua lenses. So it's now going to be doing not quite well, actually no, it would be more than twice as much, wouldn't it? Nah, almost, nearly twice as much. And with that now added, 3.25, an extra 1.5. That is actually going to be quite a bit. I'm really looking forward to see how much I get from that, but the only way to see, really, is to jump into a mission with this equipped and basically leech as much as I can and see the difference between... Oh, let's just not use the primary or the melee all the way through this, and then they should get the same amount of affinity, because if I'm not using them, they shouldn't really get much. And that still allows me to be of use in the mission, so I'm not actually leeching anymore. Ah, you see how silly ideas are born. And I'm also going to guess we're only doing the 1 round, since the host is halfway up the pillar and not moving on to the next round. 1 round! Why would you jump into Elite Sanctuary Onslaught for 1 round? But actually that's a fairly significant difference between the two. because I never used the primary or the melee, they should have got about the same. Not a huge difference like that. But of course it would be much bigger difference if that had gone on a little bit longer, so I'm going to suffer through that again and probably leave again. And for those wondering exactly why I've brought Equinox to this when Saren tends to be way better these days if you get the right build on, it's because I was doing the daily Nightwave thing, which was kill 150 enemies with heat, and I didn't fancy using Nova, so I built my gun for heat, and I'm using the secondary, using Equinox to stun them for a second, hence he's kind of nearly got a million things stored up. I'm not using Equinox as I should be, because I'm trying to get that daily done. Actually, it should be done by now. But as you can see, it should have got roughly the same as the Zenith did. There's a better example. I'm leveling up the Gratlas, so the 3 weapons are not being used. You can see they should have had 419, 419, 599. It has, that tiny little percentage makes a huge difference. I did use the Warframe, hence it has a bit more affinity, if you want to call it that, but you can see the difference between the weapons that didn't get used. 414, 414, 599. It is going to, these lenses are going to make a massive difference. So we'll leave this off here for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.